Welcome, welcome. It is Friday night, and I am coming at you live from our place right now, at least until we move, which is coming up very soon. Next Tuesday is when I meet the inspector, and then the following day, my husband and I do the first walkthrough, and then the next week on Wednesday, we have our final walkthrough, and then we close that day. Yikes. And then the following week, we start moving. Well, we actually move, like with the movers and stuff. My husband is going to be doing some boxes and stuff like that. And I'll be doing some things in between. And then the kids come on August 1st, which is a Sunday. So it's exciting and it's scary and exciting. And I'm going to be really glad when we are finally settled, because we have not been settled since we've been married. We've been just these vagabonds, and it's not like we've been planned vagabonds. It's just like situations, the circumstances, if that makes sense, has done it. And I got my hair cut today. So my friend Sylvia came over. She has been doing hair for many, many years. She used to have a place downtown. And when I lived downtown, I would just go across the street and see her. But now, due to COVID, she travels around Houston. So she came here and cut my hair. And she will travel to where we're moving to and cut my hair, which I'm really glad, because, whenever you move to a new place, it's like hard to find all of, the stuff. And so I'm so glad she's like now doing a traveling thing. So tonight, what I'm going to do is we are going to talk, and you may or may not be familiar with the business opportunity rule, which the last time it was looked at was 10 years ago. It can be looked at every 10 years. And as you guys know, I'm not an attorney or anything. And of course, the dogs always come over here when I go live. What is up with that? Hi, Chalupa. How are you, baby? How are you? Come here. Okay, come here. Oh, goodness. So Chalupa wanted to say hi. Hey, Jess, how you doing? Hey. Such the baby. Such the baby. Will you go down now? Go get in your box? Go be a boxy puppy. Yeah, he just gave me attitude. Gave me total attitude. All growly. Anyway, so we are going to look a little bit. This whole thing is going to be about the business opportunity rule, which several months ago, and I can't remember exactly which month, but Doug Brooks, who's an attorney, I interviewed him and we talked exclusively about the business opportunity rule on my channel. But since, you heard that? But since this is being revisited this year, we don't know when, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to talk about it, because it's important. Because if we want there to be any change, it's up to us to be the voice to cause there to be change with this stuff. And there's a bunch of stuff I can't find this one thing that I wanted to share. So maybe I'll be able to nose around and find it, but I did pull up some things. So I'm going to share this with you. Hey, Dave. Thank you, Dave. All right, share the screen. And I'm not going to read everything about the business opportunity rule. It's just like the summary, because I can show you guys, what it looks like, but it's, oh my God, snoozerama. If you're someone who's not an attorney, and since I'm not one, is like, oh, good Lord, this is just, all legalese. So let's look this over. Business opportunity rule. And where are the tags appear? Yeah, okay. The tags: consumer protection, jobs, work at home, franchise, business opportunities, and investments. The business opportunity rule requires business opportunity sellers to give prospective buyers specific information to help them evaluate a business opportunity, thus ensuring that the prospective purchasers have the information they need in order to assess the risks of buying a work-at-home program or any other business opportunity. Now, as you guys know, I know when I joined Beachbody, I had no idea what an income disclosure statement was. Most people who join probably never even see these things. And even after they join, they would, if they were like me, you would deny that, it is what it's showing you when you run the numbers. You would just like flat out say like, oh no, I'm going to beat the odds. Because I know I would have seen myself as being one of the successes, even though looking at the numbers, it's like, and what chance is that? A snowballs, I'm telling you, a snowballs. So anyway, I'll show you down here. Let me see, is this it? Oh, those are just the registered notices. Okay. What did I want to show you? The press release? Oh, the text rule. That's what I wanted to show you. So this is what it looks like. And this is what I'm not going to read because it's just like, oh, good golly, Miss Molly. There's just like all of this stuff. But the thing is what happened was the DSA, Direct Selling Association, rallied people, meaning distributors and then attorneys for the various MLMs, to write about how MLM should be excluded from the business opportunity rule. And now we're having the opportunity for it to be included. And if it's included, that would mean more information would have to be given to people before they sign that dotted line and buy that starter kit, which I think would be really, really good. And I think that it's going to make MLMs companies nervous and the DSA nervous that there's more people speaking out now than ever before. And since they know that there's a bunch of people speaking out, we need to use our voice for good to get the message across that when this starts being out there for people to make public comments and stuff, we need to make those comments. We need to show that there are a lot of people that are against this, because the last time, and I can't remember the numbers, but they were sent to me, of how many comments were made publicly about this, that was either DSA related people or distributors. And they got like the distributors all to kind of like write the same kind of letter. It was just basically, the hey hun, except for the hey FTC. That's basically, the gist of it. Which, we need to have something out there that is as, I guess, showing strength in our numbers. Hey, Joseph. Okay, thank you very much. Listen tomorrow. I appreciate that. All righty. So let's look at this. Okay, so this came out on June 14th, and the headline of this is FTC schedules review of business opportunity rule. As part of the Federal Trade Commission's systematic review of all current FTC rules and guides, the Commission announces a revised 10-year regulatory review schedule and scheduled initiation of the review of 16 CFR 437, the Business Opportunity Rule, in 2021. The Business Opportunity Rule requires business opportunity sellers to give prospective buyers specific information to help them evaluate a business opportunity, thus ensuring that the prospective purchasers have the information they need in order to assess the risk of buying a work-at-home program or any other business opportunity. The Commission vote approving the announcement of a revised regulatory review schedule and the scheduled initiation of the regulatory review of the Business Opportunity Rule was 4-0. Commissioner, I'm not going to say the first name right, Chopra, issued a statement. The Commission is currently reviewing 23 of the 62 rules and guides within its jurisdiction. During 2020 and 2021, it completed review of 16 CFR 315, contact lens of rule, and 16 CFR 317, prohibition of energy market manipulation rule. The Commission, in its discretion, may modify or reorder the schedule in the future to incorporate new rules or to respond to external factors such as the changes in the law or other considerations. The Federal Trade Commission works to promote competition and to protect and educate consumers. You can learn blah, 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 and report scams, blah, 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 blah. So that's basically the gist. 17,000 comments were made from distributors. About 187 complaints were made by Anti-Mlm. Thank you very much, Dave. Yeah, I don't have those numbers readily for me. So getting that from you is great. And I was trying to go through here because I did see where there was just a ton of comments, and now I can't find it. But what has happened since this is we now have a new chairperson. Lena Khan was sworn in as chair of the Federal Trade Commission, and this was June 15th, the next day. Rachel, thank you so very much for the super chat. I appreciate that so very much. President Biden named Khan, a Democrat, to a term on the commission that expires September 25th, 2024, and designated her as chair. Khan was confirmed by the U.S. Senate on June 15th, 2021. It is a tremendous honor to have been selected by President Biden to lead the Federal Trade Commission, said Chair Khan. I look forward to working with my colleagues to protect the public from corporate abuse. I'm very grateful to Acting Chairwoman Slaughter for her outstanding stewardship of the commission. Prior to becoming chair of the FTC, Khan was an associate professor of law at Columbia Law School. She also previously served as counsel to the U.S. House Judiciary Committee Subcommittee on Antitrust, Commercial and Administrative Law, legal advisor to FTC Commissioner, I can't say the first name, Chopra, and legal director at the Open Markets Institute. Khan's scholarship on antitrust and competition policy has been published in Columbia Law Review, Harvard Law Review, University of Chicago Law Review, and Yale Law Journal. She is a graduate of Williams College and Yale Law School. Blah, blah. The rest of it, of like, here's where you can find the scam stuff. So, along with that, there was this on June 15th, which it talks about the FTC continues to push for civil penalties with implications for financial institutions and MLMs. Now, what I'm going to do, because all of this here is not related to it. There we go, to the expanding coverage. Within an hour of announcing the amended complaint against RCG seeking civil, is that right? Or is it down here? Okay, I guess it is. All right. Civil penalties. The FTC also signaled that it would seek to expand another civil penalty altering the coverage of the business opportunity rule published in 2011. The business opportunity rule requires, okay, I've already read that. In the rulemaking record, the FTC considered and deliberately excluded MLMs from coverage on the grounds that the varied and complex structure of MLMs makes it exceedingly difficult to make an accurate earnings disclosure. Yeah, no kidding. And likely would require different disclosures for different levels of participation in the company. And yesterday's announcement, Commissioner Chopra issued a statement signaling that he supports reversing that decision and revising the rule to cover MLMs and potentially others in what he refers to as a gig economy, which would in turn open up the FTC civil penalty authority for income misrepresentation by those entities. With Chopra likely to depart the commission soon, the head of the, okay, well, we already know that. Okay, Khan is it. So we have that, which I think, okay, we know looking at income disclosure statements. I don't know if you saw the interview that I did with Dr. Keep, but we looked at a couple and, he removed the names from them and we looked at them together. And I've covered a lot of them myself, but he was able to look at them in a different light. And one of the things that I think is very interesting to consider is the level of persistence, because the likelihood that the people at the tippy top, because when you really start looking at these numbers, it is an absolute sliver of the top 1%, because, we talk about the top 1%. Well, people in the top 1% may not even be making $50,000 a year. It just, it just all depends. It's just such a minute amount of people that are making the bank. But those are the people that are paraded around to be like, oh, look, you too can have this luxury lifestyle. Meanwhile, the people who are really more middle tier is what I would say. They're the ones doing all the real dirty work and are out there trying to get everybody else to, hop on board because they're wanting to get to the very top. But to be able to climb up through that is, next to impossible, if not absolutely impossible. Okay, from Dave. Kevin Thompson, the MLM attorney on Facebook, made snarky comments about Khan being too young for the job and the FTC not knowing what it was doing. Seems like he's feeling a bit inadequate. Yeah, probably so. I mean, what's so interesting to me, it's just like that. And Dave, you remember, is that journal article recently that came out, and I did a live on it, and I can't remember which journal it's from, from direct selling, basically. And, or is it what direct selling, or which one was it? But it was somebody who was basically talking about the recent conference, and they left out 5 of the female PhDs. They also left out me talking about, how people are silenced, by MLMs. It's kind of interesting how they just leave out, things, but he's talking about us cherry picking, but meanwhile, he cherry picked everything himself. And I feel like because they know that there is this growing voice of dissent and people who are angry that so many people are being harmed by these companies, it's almost like they're on the playground and, picking up dirt and throwing it at you because they're mad that somebody else has finally come to the playground and is starting to get on the different rides. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's, thank you, Social Selling News. Thank you very much. That's right, Dave. So I think it's something like that they're just upset that now we've entered the playground and we're not just going to go away. We're going to start, going around and, getting on those rides, talking to other people, bringing more people in, and they're going to have to give up some territory. And I think they feel threatened. And to me, that's a good sign because, that means that everybody speaking out makes a difference. But something else everybody also needs to do, and that is to report experiences, because if they don't have those reports, the FTC, pretty much has their hands tied. They're not going to just go all over social media and find all the stories that are shared. They're looking for people to report their experiences, and that gives them, the paper trail of all of this. Yes, everything that we're doing on social media is important and it gets the word out, but it's really that paper trail which is going to give them if they have, pardon my visual here, a big old stack of all of these people complaining about Beachbody, there's a good likelihood that they're going to be like, maybe we should look at this. But they're not going to do it if people are sitting on their hands, not doing anything, So it's great that we're doing this, but we also need people to get off their butts and start reporting to the FTC what their experience was, which we know is less than stellar. And I will share with you how to do that because it has updated from when I made a video, over a year ago. So Dave, you agree with me that they seem to be a little bit upset that we've come to the playground? Okay, let's see. All right. Now there's somewhere, and it's not right here, but here are some comments, and I don't know if I can find where those comments are. Dave, if you find where the comments are, where there's thousands of them, send me that link because I will share that. But if you go through here and look at it, you can see, Robert Fitzpatrick was here, John Taylor, the late John Taylor. I know I saw Doug Brooks in all of this, a lot from John Taylor. Okay. And I really want to be able to share some of the things that I saw, but let me see. Let's look at the Tupperware one, but there were other ones too, and I can't remember where they are. Oh, they go to individual ones, so it may take me a minute, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read all of it, but you can just kind of see that, they're putting on their war paint, so to speak, their armor, and they're going to battle because, it's in their best interest that this rule doesn't change, because if the rule doesn't change, then those income disclosure statements, one, they don't have to publish them because, they don't have to. All of these companies are not mandated. You got to put out an income disclosure statement. Some of them do. Now, Herbalife, that's a different story. They do. But if they don't have to do it, they can just, if they make them, they can make them as convoluted as they want. And when we look at them, I mean, my goodness, I look at them sometimes and I'm like, what? What does this mean? I start getting lost in it. I recently did the one for Lavelle because I did another video about the Watts case. In this instance, I looked at Shanann's vision board, and I talked about how the vision board is basically another tool that's used to, keep you kind of, like suspended from reality. And I also talked about some of her affirmations in there and personal development and how all of that works. But I want to say this is from their general counsel, because I go into like this little, or maybe it was the Pampered Chef one. If I can just find that. Where is this? It may take me a moment to find it. So, talk amongst yourselves. And if anybody finds it, let me know. But I could have sworn it was from one of these things. Let's see. Is it this? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Nope. Is that the same one? Oh, this is it. Okay. This is it. Yay me. Okay. So here we go. And as you can see, there are a lot of people making comments, but you can see that it's like from Tupperware, and then it will be like from distributors. And there was one or two that I think I pulled up, and it's just kind of interesting. Okay, there was the Pampered Chef one. Okay, let me pull that one up. And then there was another one from a distributor. I don't remember from which company. Was it even on the first page? We'll have to look. Okay, but at least I found this. Or did I click on the wrong thing? Nope. Okay, I guess it goes to the right. Yep, okay. There we go. And they're quite lengthy. Okay, this is what I find really interesting is that they go into like over here, this whole history about what the Pampered Chef is, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. I just feel like they're trying to whitewash what the reality is, because they certainly aren't going to talk about how many hours people work, how much they're spending to get whatever products, or what they're doing, like for these parties, the time spent with the different things that they have to get, all the money being spent. They're not going to talk about any of that type of stuff. And I mean, this is very long. And in one of them, I think it's here somewhere. Let me see, because they talk about how they think that maybe there should be a limit. Like if people are investing like less than $500, then like companies should be excluded or something like that. I looked at this a couple of days ago and I've slept since then, so I don't remember exactly. But I just find it all very interesting how they go to this long, lengthy thing to actually cover up what's going on, which is most people are not making any kind of money. I wish I could find where I'm trying to say. Maybe it's in the distributor one that I looked at. Like I said, sorry, it's been a while. Wow, more than 70,000. And that was, 10 years ago. Okay, let me see if I can find that other one. But if they have basically some sort of template that other people like used and just basically kind of regurgitated the same sort of thing, we could come up with that as well. I know the Anti-Bot would be interested in having some sort of, letter writing kind of army of doing this. Okay, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. There's another one from John Taylor. Okay, maybe I will just pick one. Let's just see what good old Pete said. Oh, about being in business. Okay, independent business owners. Okay, even here, saying they're independent business owners. You're an independent contractor, for the love of God and all that is holy. Please. Okay. Oh, he's talking about Quickstar. So basically, this is an Amway person. I really wish I could find that one. And I can't. There's a lot. There's just a lot. So if you guys want to ever look at any of these, here now you know what to look for. Business opportunity rule. Okay. Then let me see. Where is this that I wanted to go to? I would like to report fraud to the FTC. There's so many Amway ones. Oh, really? Why am I not surprised? Being the grand poobah, good golly, Miss Molly. Okay, how to report. We're going to do that. Don't need to watch the video. Let's go here, report fraud. So if you have been involved in an MLM, you need to go here and tell your stinking story. You may not want to come on camera and tell your story to the world. You may not want to be interviewed, but you can go here and tell your story. And for some reason, if you're uncomfortable here doing it, you can go to Truth in Advertising and report it there. Okay, it's going to take a moment for it to, I'll look at that in a minute. Thank you very much, Dave. Is that like all of the comments? Okay. So you go here and you go to report now. And let's see. So there's all these different things that you can choose from. And what we are looking for, I believe, is job money making opportunity. And okay. Program to be your own boss or start a business. And they also have, pyramid scheme. I would say probably thank you very much, Dave, for sharing that. Program to be your own boss or start a business. I would think this is where you would go if you have been involved in an MLM. It's changed, since I made that video. So you go here, click on that, click continue. And you can see right here, you've started, and it gives you that little kind of like, oh, how far along am I in here? And you just fill it out. So I'm just going to put in, okay. And I'm not going to finish all of this. How did you pay? I'll just say debit card. Let's say it said yes. And then, okay, whichever of this, I'll just say I had difficulty, recurring charge, blah. And then, here, then you're able to put the name of the company, your name, and do you know any other information? Yes or no. And then here it's a free form, and you can have 3,500 characters to be able to describe everything that happened. Now, obviously, I'm not going to describe everything, so I'm not going to be able to continue, but that's basically where you go. Let me see if I just put in anything, if it will let me go. Let me continue. Yeah. Okay. And so then you go in and put in all of your information and then click submit. So it's not that long, it's really pretty short. So I think that is important for everyone to do, is just to go here and do that. Okay. Let's see. I want to see if there were any more of those. Dave, let me know if you found any of these that are short to the point. And now why can't I find what I was just looking at? Why can I not find things? Where's the business opportunity rule? Oh, we'll put it up here. By the way, guys, I have been working on, oh crap. Let me maybe go into the press release again. I have been working on, there we go. A deep dive into IM Mastery Academy. IM Mastery Academy. Yes, I get the Markets Live, and because it changed names, because I like to change names, especially when, you know, there people are coming at them and stuff. And that hopefully, I mean, it's taken me forever to edit it because it's incredibly long and there's a lot of different people involved. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of like tying them all together of how like other MLMs they were involved in and where they would have met each other. And they're in this one as well. And there's connections to OneCoin in it too, which of course I find that very interesting. Okay. Business opportunity. I think it's through here that I was able to find it. Is it down here? What did I click where I found all of those things? That's not where I was. I don't know. Have any of you, other than Dave, been familiar with the business opportunity rule before now? And what do you think it would do? Okay, there we go. What do you think it would do if the business opportunity rule applied to multi-level marketing companies? Do you think it would discourage people from joining? Or do you think that, you know, companies would come up with another way to kind of like alter the truth, or, you know, put on a different shade of rose-colored glasses so that people don't actually see what's going on? Let's see. Let's see if I can. Still trying to find the one that I've clicked into, because I know there was something that was pretty short that showed something about how much money it was. Maybe I will just randomly choose another one. If you would like me to choose one and like look at it together, let me know in the chat and we can do that. I'm just trying to find something that I already had clicked on. Now, overall, I think that oh, wow, here's a one from Quickstar. So, you know, that's Amway, dude. I think it's Canberra goes through the main concerns he had with the business opportunity rule. Oh, let me look at that. Okay, can I grab this? I can't grab it. Oh my gosh. What page was that on, Dave? Which one? Do you know? Like up here, let me know which page that is and how far down, because I can't click it, which is a little bit annoying. Just saying, a little bit annoying. Let's see. Oh, here's something from the Direct Selling Association. That would be interesting. Let's look at that. Page 9, entry. Okay. Let me look at. Oh, good gravy. This is from 2006. Man. See, I mean, they put in so much stuff. Good golly, Miss Molly. And I most certainly, I would fall asleep reading all of this. I think maybe that's the point. Okay, they're talking about how it could provide, exclude from the rules provision those business opportunity sellers whose opportunities carry minimal or no cost or risk. Better define it. Okay, let me go to where you're talking about, Dave. Let me look at that. Page 9. One 642. Okay. Okay. To whom it may concern, I am writing this comments to express my opinion on the proposed rulemaking. I do not feel the proposal would benefit the IBOs involved with Quickstar. IBOs are independent business owners. That's what Amway calls them. And Quickstar is basically an offshoot of Amway at all. In fact, I feel it hinder us greatly in our attempt to bless, oh good Lord, other people with financial freedom. The 7-day waiting period idea is ridiculous since it would not only hinder the IBO, independent business owner, but would also hinder the prospect from getting started at an earlier date. The idea for needing 10 referral names, addresses, etc. is very bad, for it infringes on the IBO's privacy. I understand why the FTC is proposing these rules, and I applaud them for attempting to shut down the illegal scams that are out there, but surely there is a way to do that without hurting the legitimate businesses out here. Thank you for your time. That always just rubs me the wrong way, where all of these companies and the distributors are like a legitimate MLM. How do you separate a legitimate MLM from one that is not legitimate? Because they're all harming people. I have yet to come across one where like everybody's making bank and life is peachy keen. So that always just kills me. Dave, let me know if you find any others. Hey, Laura, how you doing, sweetheart? Okay, let me see. Let's look at Diana. Oh, that's going to be a long one. Trying to find some of the shorter ones. Okay, so who is she with me, Betty? Oh, with Advocare. Oh, which has been, shut down as being a pyramid scheme. So let's go ahead and look at this. Okay. Let me wet my whistle. Dear sir or madam, I am writing this letter concerning the proposed business opportunity rule, blah, blah, blah. I believe that in its current form, it could make it extremely difficult for me to continue operating as an Advocare independent member. I understand that part of the FTC's responsibilities is to protect the public from unfair and deceptive business practices, but some of the sections in the proposed rule will make it very difficult, if not impossible, for me to successfully share products and the business opportunity. Wow. Hey there, Caffeinated Angel. How are you doing? Oh, I'm glad you like the new haircut. She came over. She travels now and came here and did it. Would make it very difficult to share the products in the business opportunity. And all I can say is, wah, 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 little tier of it's going to be more difficult, because I kind of think that's the idea, is to hinder things that could be causing harm to people who could, might join. Advocare International, a direct sales company based in Carrollton, Texas, offers high quality nutritional products. How are you judging that it's high quality? How do you know it's high quality based on what who says? I became a member of Advocare because I liked the products and wanted to earn some additional income. There are more than 100,000 Advocare members across the United States that this new rule, if implemented, would burden. I would like to share several key concerns. First, I am against the 7-day waiting period to enroll new members. An unrealistic delay would cause uncertainty and become extremely burdensome, because maybe people would then do some investigation on their own and start doing their own independent research away from, the bubble that you get put in, and maybe their critical thinking would kick back in. Just a thought. An Advocare sales kit costs only $50. Consumers may purchase products that cost more than the kit, and they do not have to wait the 7 days. This waiting period also may imply that there is something inherently wrong with the business plan. Well, hello. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. There is, and Advocare was found to be a pyramid scheme. I also think that it is unnecessary because Advocare already has a buyback policy for all products, and the sales kit purchased by the member within the last 12, is that right? By the member within the last 12 months. Okay, this whole buyback crap, puppy please. Puppy please. There's always some weird little caveat with it, like you don't get the full amount back. You get a percentage of it, which I think is problematic. And that's why, like, a lot of Mary Kay reps have had, rooms full of crap. They can't get rid of it. And, they're not going to get the full money back. And so they end up keeping the stuff. It's very deceptive. Under the proposed waiting period, I will also need to keep very detailed records when I first speak to someone about Advocare. Well, shouldn't you do that? Isn't that the point? Shouldn't you be keeping very detailed records? And will then have to send in many reports to Advocare home office. Horror of horrors, more work. Then maybe you won't do it because you're going to lose money. And anyway, you were shut down. Those requirements would create an impactful and undue burden on my time as an independent member. You already are using so much of your time chasing after people. And yes, this would be additional time of you doing this type of stuff. And maybe if you were having to keep all these detailed records of it, you might go, wow, I'm wasting a lot of time on this and I'm not getting that much out of it. Maybe this isn't, all that glitters is gold. Maybe this is just jank and I should, cut my losses now. Maybe that would happen. Just saying. Second, the proposed rule requires the disclosure of individual salespeople or product purchasers geographically closest to the prospect. Isn't that about competition? I mean, like, let's just say my downstairs neighbor and I shouldn't both be shilling the same stuff, and then we're all trying to, reach the same people. I am willing to provide references, but in this day and age of identity theft, I am very uncomfortable giving out the personal information of individuals to strangers. But think about this. You will ask individual strangers for their contact information so that you can shill your MLM crap to them. So just saying, turnaround's fair play. People are very concerned about identity theft and will be reluctant to share their personal information with people they may have never met. Well, you can also use social media, as you guys all do. And, same thing, just saying. Finally, the disclosure practice would also cause undue delays in enrolling prospective product purchasers or members. For example, in order to get a list of 10 prior purchasers, I would need to send the address of the prospective buyer to Advocare home office and then wait for the list. The momentum to make the purchase may be lost. Not that. Not that they might think maybe there's a better product out there that isn't so expensive. I also think the proposed rule would prevent many people from wanting to sign up as a member. Yes. And that's a great thing because most people are going to lose money. My family depends on this income. Oh, please. How much are you actually making? And the proposed rule may greatly hamper my ability to contribute to my family's well-being. I appreciate the work of the FTC to protect consumers, but I believe there are less burdensome alternatives available in reaching its goals. Thank you for your time in considering my comments. So you see how they try to make it look like, oh, this is just horrible, and you are taken away from my baby's mouths. when really all of these people, that's the thing that's bothering me thinking about this, all these people who wrote in that were distributors. One, I'm wondering, what level were they at with whatever MLM they were in? Two, how long were they in it? Three, how much have they invested into the opportunity overall? Four, how much are they investing in it each month in terms of money, for the products to get your, points and everything? Have they made anything? What is that number when you take out the expenses? And then how much time have they put into it? I think if they start looking at all of that, then yes, people would be like, you know what? This really isn't worth it. And I think that if we had this business opportunity rule, it might be one of those things that would choke out the weeds, so to speak. It would be a way to deter people from staying involved in these things for too long. And what comes to my mind, because I don't know if any of you guys watch any true crime here, or if you have followed the Watts case at all, but there is all kinds of drama going on in true crime about the Watts case right now. I mean, it is absolutely bonkers. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like better than any soap opera. It's just so bizarre, the things that are happening. But when I have done videos about the Watts case, I'm doing it from the perspective of, I'm looking at it through the lens of, I was a distributor myself. I'm looking at Shanann and I'm seeing Hunbot behavior and examining that, because I think that it provides a cautionary tale, if you will. And that we can learn a lot by looking at all of that and how people behave and what went on with her and the psychology behind it. Because, I mean, they were about to lose their house at the time of her murder. They had already been through bankruptcy once. And, the weekend before she was killed, because she was killed on, I'm going to say, was it August 13th, I think, of 2018? She had gone on another, trip, a leader's retreat. And even though all of that, oh yeah, one other thing, and that the night that she was killed, there was, for a Monat, however you say it, an auto payment for something, the credit card was declined, and she had racked up a lot of other debt. And I'm not placing blame on her whatsoever for what happened, but I do know that being involved in MLM, the psychological stress that you undergo yourself as a distributor, much less the family at large, all of that stress had to have been tremendous. And there she was working her butt off. And when you look at the time that she was putting into it versus what she was getting out of it, I mean, it's like minimal. And I want to say, when I did the video and I ran the numbers of like where she fell in terms of the tiers, and she was definitely, like mid-range, and somebody tried to tell me she was in the top 2%. She was nowhere in the top 2%. She might have been at like the top 10%, which, I mean, that sounds good on the surface until you start looking at what the numbers are when somebody's at that level, and the amount of time that they're putting into it. So if doing all of this with the business opportunity rule would make somebody stop and think about the amount of time and amount of money that they're putting into all of this, that maybe it's really not that great of an idea. It's not that great of an opportunity. And maybe I should drop out. Maybe that would have an impact on the companies overall, and they would not be able to keep, just like reforming into new things, because that's often what happens is when there is some sort of like legal things that are going on. Oftentimes there's been a lot of class action lawsuits or whatever. They just like rebrand and become something else. Like Modere has gone through several different iterations, and they hide all of that from everyone. I know the person that I interviewed this past week, if you watched that with Connie, she didn't know the history of Modere until she watched the video I did about it, because I uncovered and put all of that out there. And that's the thing, that most people involved in these they don't really have the full story about the company, about the founders. There's so much of it that is just hidden. It's all shh, shh, hush, hush, hush. Don't, no. Don't want to take out the dirty laundry. And these are things that are important for people to be able to know so that they could make an informed decision. Because right now, your decision is really more emotional than anything else. It's not about like, oh, this is just a great opportunity, because it's not. With some of these comments and see if they're still. Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. I agree with you, Dave. Interesting to follow up to see if they're still an MLM. And I'm wondering that. I really am. I mean, if Shanann had lived, would she have stayed in MLM, or at some point would she have walked away? I don't know. But I do wonder if any of these people have seen the light. Do they look back and go, oh my gosh, I wrote this letter and I was talking about, my fabulous MLM, and now I realize it's a bunch of bunk, Let's look at Ruthie. I just like the name Ruthie. Let's see if what Ruthie says. On your proposed rule about the business opportunity rule, there are several things I feel that would be in conflict with the growth of my business. There we go again. My business, it's not your business. If a contact would have to wait 7 days before they can start their business, it would cause slow realization of any benefits because there are none. If I had to provide too much personal information to a stranger, it may cause me great harm, identity theft, that again, as well as client theft, having to keep on hand a financial statement before a relationship is built. Also, to have 10 names of references to give out when a person is invited to a meeting, they have an opportunity to ask questions at that time. I would not like to provide my personal information. I know you are trying to prevent fraud, but with that much info being provided to a stranger, it would cause the business owner problems also. It's an Amway person. I am affiliated with Quickstar. There are so many ways, had a great reputation. The founders have always been above board. Oh, really? This should be a win-win situation for both the business owner and the client. Wow, I'm sorry. I almost like choked on my own tongue or something, I mean, goodness. That's the whole thing, is that the whole idea, like if you imagine if, before joining any of these, you did have actual references and you could check on that. And, that would also cause the person to have to keep track of, like, are those people still involved in this? And am I able to still give out the same names in 6 months? Or have all of those names changed? Or have they all left? That might be some wake up calls too. You know what I mean? So, let's look at another one. So I don't know when this is going to become available for us to make comments and stuff. Now, next week, the people that I was on the steering committee with for the conference, we're like a working group now. So I'm hoping that we will talk about this, because one of the things that I put out to the group is that I think it would be great if we did some kind of workshop around the business opportunity rule. And one, I think it'd be great if that workshop included, like, for people like you guys, to comment, what to comment, what kind of information we need, that kind of general thing. And I want to say it was Dr. Barrett brought up, like, oh, what if we, had basically a debate with someone who's like pro MLM, so they have to explain why they should be excluded from the business opportunity rule. And with all the people that are involved on that panel, I think that person would be eaten alive. Which, like, bring your popcorn. Let's see. Let's look at Lillian. Let's see, how long is Lillian's. If it's too long, that ain't happening. Okay. At least she says an independent distributor. I am an independent distributor of For Life Research USA LLC. For Life. For Life is a company that manufactures high quality dietary supplement products and markets those products through a network of independent distributors. My family depends on the extra income that I earn as an independent distributor for life. It's interesting how they just say extra income and don't specify what that amount is. I guess that was part of the like, this is what you need to say. And they thought they were, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to tell you how much, just like my family is depending on me. I am writing this letter because I am concerned about proposed business opportunity rule, blah, blah, blah. I believe that in its present form, it could prevent me from continuing as an independent distributor of For Life. Oh, that would be horrifying. I understand and appreciate that part of the FTC's responsibility is to protect the public from unfair and deceptive acts or practices. But some of these sections in the proposed rule will make it very difficult, if not impossible, for me to sell For Life products. One of the most confusing and burdensome sections of the proposed rule is the 7-day waiting period to enroll new distributors. For Life sales kits only cost $29.95. People buy televisions, cars, and other items that cost much more than the price of a For Life sales kit, and they do not have to wait 7 days. The waiting period gives the impression that there might be something wrong with the compensation plan. I also think that 7-day waiting period is unnecessary because For Life already has a 90% buyback policy for all products, including sales kits purchased by a salesperson within the last 12 months. Under the waiting period requirement, I will need to keep very detailed records when I first speak to someone about For Life, and will then have to send in many reports to For Life's headquarters. You see how it's like that same kind of message that they're doing? The proposed rule also calls for the release of any information regarding lawsuits. Well, that would be a good idea involving misrepresentation or unfair or deceptive practices. It does not matter if the company was found innocent. In today's legal environment, anyone or any company can be sued for almost anything. It does not make sense to me that I would have to disclose these lawsuits unless For Life is found guilty. I believe this would place For Life and me at an unfair advantage, even though For Life has done nothing wrong. I've never looked into them. But here's the thing. When you start looking at those lawsuits, because when looking at the iMarkets Live, I Am Mastery Academy, I want to say there's at least one lawsuit, and I can't remember which company within this because I've read so much stuff. But so it was dropped, and it was dropped in a way where they weren't really admitting guilt, and they were like willing to pay a fine instead. So even though if they're not found guilty, there could still be shenanigans going on if you really start looking at the details. And of course, these companies don't want people looking at those things because, yeah, that might give people pause to go like, who are these people? What are they up to if they had to disclose all of that, Finally, the proposed rule requires the disclosure of a minimum of 10 prior purchasers nearest to the prospective purchaser. I am glad to provide references, but in this day of identity theft, I am very uncomfortable giving out the personal information of individuals to strangers, even with their approval. Also, giving away this information could damage the business relationship of the references who may be involved in other companies or businesses, including those of competitors. In order to get a list of 10 prior purchasers, I will need to send the address of the prospective purchaser to For Life's headquarters and then wait for the list. I also think following sentence required by the proposed rule will prevent many people from wanting to sign up as a salesperson. If you buy a business opportunity from the seller, your contract information can be disclosed in the future to other buyers. People are very concerned about their privacy and identity theft and will be very reluctant to share their personal information with individuals they have never met. I appreciate the work of the FTC to protect consumers, but I believe this proposed new rule may unintended consequences and that are less burdensome alternatives available in achieving its goals. I respectfully request the proposed business rule not be adopted, or alternative direct selling companies receive an exemption from the rule. And that's what they got, an exemption, an exemption. And I think that we have that opportunity now to get rid of that exemption. You know, settlements to resolve. Yes, all the settlements. And I can see why anyone who is a distributor or the companies would be like, oh, this isn't good for our business, because people might actually, like, one, they have a cooling off period, so they're not going to do it right away, which could prevent somebody from ranking up and all of these different things. And it could cause somebody to go like, oh, well, let me go and look at all of this stuff, especially like, oh, there's some lawsuits. Let me look into what's going on here. Maybe this isn't the best opportunity, because if you've seen any of these opportunity videos, and I've done some responses to them in video format, I mean, they don't tell you jack, or nor Shinola. It's just like the most pathetic little presentation ever, because you don't get anything to go by, like anything to sink your teeth into, other than a lot of, all that, the gold, like everything is just so fantastic. It's just wonderful. It's just, you'll make money kind of an idea. So there. Well, I hope you found this interesting about the business opportunity rule. And I will keep you informed about when we can make comments and stuff. And I'll also let you know about what we talk about next week in the working group. Now, I am going to be moving soon, so my time period to do lives and to get video content out may be a bit disrupted, because I don't know how long it's going to be for me to kind of like get settled in. Plus my new office, I mean, it's all like a tiled floor, and I don't have a rug or anything yet. So it's going to take some time. So if I do get some videos out, and I will put up a warning in there to let you know that the audio may sound a little, tinny or something. And it's just going to be, it is what it is, because there's nothing I can do until I am able to get like all the foam up, get the rug down, which I don't have, and unpack some things so that it's not all echoey within my new space. But thank you very much for joining me tonight. Let me know what your thoughts are about the business opportunity rule, and any kind of considerations about things that you would want to say to the FTC about it, why you think that including MLMs is a good idea, and how it would benefit people to be able to help them make an informed decision. Again, thank you so much for being here, and remember, you're beautiful and I love you, and I will see you next time.